when it comes to self-doubt, it doesn't choose who. Yeah, especially for high functioning people, it can actually be a lot because, there's that fear of rejection, fear of failure. So if you're high functioning, you may be doing things to the extremes because you're scared that I don't want to fail.
We are going to do a game together. Are you ready for it?
Great. Yeah. I'm not very good at games, but I'm in.
I'm sure you are. This one is specifically made just for you.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Let's go for it.
And yes, let's go. I'm going to read out a sentence.
Yep.
And I'm going to ask you, is this wisdom or self-doubt?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes.
Cool. I don't think I'm ready for this yet.
Wisdom.
Why do you think so?
Because of the powerful word yet.
Oh. Okay.
If you're not yet ready for something, it means there's still hope that you're going to be ready for it.
Okay.
So there is the power in the word yet. So that's why in primary school, when we teach the growth mindset, we do teach kids about the power of yet.
Wow. Yes. This is amazing. I love this. All right, second one. Who am I to speak on this topic?
Oh, definitely self-doubt. Because you're already questioning identity. Who am I?
Everyone else seems more confident than me.
Oh, the comparison issue. You are already comparing yourself to other people, then you're going to doubt yourself.
Okay, I see what you're doing, Dr. Sue. I should probably check this one more time before I send it.
That is wisdom, because what you're saying is, I'm done with what I've been doing, but I still just need to check and see if it's right. But if you get to a point where you're going to be doing it 20 times, 30 times, then that's where the issue comes in. But if it's just once, it just means that I just want to make sure that, everything is okay. Not perfect, but okay.
Okay, I'm loving this. All right, let's do it. Maybe I was wrong about that.
It's also wisdom, because you're saying there is a possibility that I was right, but there is a possibility that I was wrong. It's what you do next about the maybe I was wrong about this. So it's the action that you're going to take after that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I wonder if they actually like me or they're just being polite.
Self-doubt.
Why so?
Because you're already making assumptions about other people that they probably, are just being polite. You don't have the confidence in yourself that, I'm a likable person. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And last one. I've done this before, but I still feel nervous.
It's okay to feel nervous. Even if you've done something 100 times, you might feel nervous. Being anxious sometimes can be a motivating effect. Yes. So it doesn't mean that, that's self-doubt. It just means that, there is normal anxiety, which prepares you to take action. And then when anxiety becomes overwhelming, when you start thinking, I don't think I'm ready enough, then that's self-doubt now, because you're constantly thinking about it rather than taking action.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. I'm so glad we didn't do this beforehand, because this is affecting me in real time on camera. And I love the way that you've just put each and every one of them. I'm sure there's so many people going to be affected by just that wisdom that you've just shared. So before we go into other questions, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are,
Yeah. So my name is Sue. I'm a counseling psychologist.
Isn't it Dr. Sue? Yes, I'm not letting that one go, okay?
Yes, I am a doctor of psychology, yes. And I'm a mom, a friend, a sister, and I'm currently a school counselor, and I do private counseling as well. And so I'm training to be a life coach, which I'm finding quite interesting at the moment. Yes, and most importantly, I'm a child of God.
Oh, I love that in there. And you have so many awesome books and stuff coming out?
Yes, I love journaling.
Yeah.
So I've got a few journals on Amazon, but I'm currently writing a parenting book.
Wow.
Which I'm really, really excited about it. It's going to be in part series.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'm hoping by the time I get to my birthday this year in October, yes, I'll have finished, and most likely to be published.
Yes, no, you gotta come back so that we can do like a part 2 of this because we want to hear all about it.
Yeah,
okay,
yes.
all right. You're making my platform like do its thing. I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too.
Yeah.
I've been in school counseling for a long time, for more than a decade now.
Wow.
And I just felt that it was the time to write about my experiences and what I've learned through that journey in terms of parenting. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And you will have to read the book.
Yes, I will, and I'm sure a lot of people are excited to also read that book.
Yeah.
Thank you. I want to ask you one of like a meaty question. So, from your perspective as a psychologist and all the wonderful experience you have, is self-doubt a disorder, or is it a design feature of how we are all built?
Most of the times we confuse it with being a disorder because we think it's a weakness, but it's just a normal human experience. And we all have it. There are times in our lives where we have to go through self-doubt. And the good thing about it is that it raises awareness, self-awareness, and also, self-consciousness. And it also helps us, prepare for, risks. So it only becomes problematic when it's constant, when you are spiraling all the time about, maybe I'm not good enough, or I can't do this is not meant for me, or when it starts, affecting your normal day-to-day life and your well-being in general, then that's when it becomes an issue. But otherwise, it's a normal human experience that most people have.
Yeah, that's a really good one, because I think sometimes it feels like you're the only one experiencing it, and that maybe other people, don't experience it. Because that's how I feel sometimes. I don't know how other people feel. So it's good that you're talking about that it is that normal experience and stuff. So yeah, do you ever experience yourself?
Oh yes, I'm a counselor, I'm a psychologist, and soon to be a life coach, but I go through those moments at times. The most important thing is to be able to identify the fact that, okay, I am stuck in self-doubt right now, and being able to not react to it, but respond to it. So that's the only difference, that some people manage to respond to it and other people react to it. And it's when we react that it becomes a problem, because it becomes urgent and, it becomes difficult to manage.
What does research say about how common self-doubt actually is, even among high performers or high capacity people?
Okay. When it comes to self-doubt, it doesn't choose. And especially for high functioning people, it can actually be a lot, because there's that fear of rejection, fear of failure. So if you're high functioning, you may be doing things to the extremes because you're scared that I don't want to fail. So it's not about competence or achievement, it's about learning to manage the thoughts. Understanding that thoughts are just patterns, they are not facts. So it can affect anybody, a celebrity, any individual, your grandmother in the village, or somebody working in a supermarket. It doesn't choose. It's about managing those patterns in our head and understanding that self-doubt, it doesn't have to be something that is related to our identity. It doesn't define us, because when we think I'm not good enough, that has got an attachment to our identity. So learning to understand that your worth is not attached to your thoughts.
Right.
Yeah. It will help a lot.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So can you think of a moment where you had self-doubt?
Oh yes. I think I've always wanted to write a book on parenting, but it has taken me years, because there are times when you think, first I thought English is not my native language, and I have to write this book in English. And then I thought, oh, I'm not an author, I'm a counselor, like really. So those are moments of self-doubt, and then eventually I had to sit down and say, but I've had these experiences. I don't really have to be very good at English. I can find an editor who can help me with this. So it's learning to understand that it's okay that I'm going through this right now, and it's turning that self-doubt into something that motivates you to doing something. So self-doubt, it's more about, it makes you procrastinate. But you have to do the opposite. When you start doubting yourself, you have to act. Because confidence on its own, it just doesn't come when you're sitting. Confidence comes from action and from the continuous practice of whatever you're doing. It's just like, when you take a small kid for piano lessons, the first time they may come back home crying because they didn't figure it out. But the more they go for the piano lessons, the more they become comfortable and, eventually, be confident in it. They'll be playing the piano at school, at birthdays and stuff. So it's about that rewiring, that understanding that, it is something that people go through. It's not just you. It's almost everybody goes through it. Right.
So it's in the building, right? That you become confident rather than just sitting here and be like, I want to be confident.
Yeah. People usually wait for that, like, I'm not a confident person. How can I be confident? We usually wait for it. Okay. But confidence grows with, the ability to act.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I love that. Confidence grow in the ability to act.
Yes. If you're not going to stand up and say, I'm going to do this, then you will be seated.
Wow.
And you will not do it. Wow. And then, that I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I can never be that person. That prophecy will be fulfilled in your life. Whoa. The false prophecy. But for you, it becomes a reality. Because you've said, I cannot do it. Then you sit and you don't do it. And it's fulfilled.
Wow. You're taking me back to school. I remember that psychology class and I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this? Yeah. Like going from that, you've worked with a variety of different people, like, from children to adults to people who, look, they are put together. What are some of the patterns that you actually see across board and see around them? Like, there's some people, they do look put together.
The sad part is that, sometimes when people do look put together, inside they're not put together. So they can go through self-doubt, but for them it's the worst because there is that fear of, rejection. I'm afraid of being rejected. What are people going to think about me? Right. Because everybody sees me as, the organized person, the person who is always there for other people. So if I'm going to, be vulnerable and say that, I actually feel I'm not good enough, people are going to how are they going to perceive me? Right. So it can be a real big challenge for these people because it's about, the world that others have created for them. They are put together. Yeah. But that, being confident has got nothing to do with, or self-doubt has got nothing to do with your inner peace.
Oh, you got to tell me a little bit more about that.
Because, I can look confident outside, but in my head, I am not. I am not. So I've got to address those thoughts that are in my head so that I can have the inner peace that I need.
That you need.
Yeah.
Wow. And you mentioned something about like something along the lines of a life that somebody has put together. Like, what do you mean?
So like sometimes when we're growing up, people will tell us who we are supposed to be. Okay. And then we eventually sometimes live in fear if we are not able to get to that point. So some people will look put together because that's what has been prescribed to them, that you have to look this way.
Okay.
So if I don't look this way, if I don't act this way, then, who am I going to be?
Right.
Then that fear of failure, that fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, then kicks in.
Oh, okay. No, thank you for exploring that.
Yeah. So it's when you look at self-doubt as a person, it can have an effect on you because it touches on identity, belonging, that sense of significance that we're looking into. And when it comes to the workplace, it has a lot to do with achievement, with success. So it's something that can affect you in both worlds, career-wise and personal, in your personal life. So it's that ability to be, and it does come at some point in our lives because we don't stay the same. If I'm, for example, I'll give an example. When I moved to Australia, it was going into totally different country. I was used to the systems in Dubai, and coming to Australia, I was anxious. Okay, how am I going to start up in the schools? You need to learn the systems and all. And self-doubt can kick in because you get there and you're thinking, oh my God, am I going to be good enough? And for example, let's say you get to this workplace, you're working with a colleague who looks like, you say, put together. And then you're thinking you don't even know where to find a ruler or a pen. You can start thinking that, oh my God, I'm not going to make it here. So it's about you now reframing those thoughts and saying, oh, actually, you know what? I'm new here. I need to learn the systems. And then when I've learned the systems, I'm going to be okay. Rather than panicking and moving into a reaction. That is why I said, you need to learn to respond. Emotional growth comes with responses, not with reactions.
That one right there, I need that one, because it is like often like the moment you self-doubt, you find yourself in that place, we do react. I do react. And I'm like, wait, what am I reacting to? I should be able to respond. Can you tell us a little bit like what's the difference between reaction and response? Because sometimes it can look like, it sounds like the two exact same thing.
They're like, they're like cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins. Exactly.
They're like cousins. So, with the reaction, it's when you don't even have time to think about it. What you're doing is you're just looking at a situation and you're saying, this is it. So this is what I'm not good enough, so I am not.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if you want to know that this has been a reaction, it comes up with, those emotions like sadness, frustration, anger, bitterness, jealous, because you're just, in that comparison phase, you're in that fearful phase. But with a response, you're giving time, for you to be able to pause and breathe. And reflect. It gives you an opportunity to reflect and say, is this really true that I'm not good enough?
Right. Okay.
So normally if I'm in a counseling session, I give people 4 questions that they need to ask themselves. You just need to reflect on, is it true that I'm not good enough? And then, immediately you're likely to say, oh, it's very true. I'm not good enough. I once failed at this, at that. And you're not taking that as a learning phase. Whatever you failed in life, it's a learning phase.
Right.
You've got to pick lessons from that and move on.
Yeah.
Rather than staying stuck and thinking, I'm not good enough, I can never be that person, or comparing yourself to other people. So the second question that you need to ask yourself is it absolutely true?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you find any difference in those 2 questions?
I did actually.
Yeah. The key word there is absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, is there evidence that I'm not good enough?
Okay.
100% evidence. That's what you're looking for. And if you look at it, a good example is if I say to you, in 2019 there was COVID. Is it true? What would you say?
Right now?
Yeah. Is it true that there was COVID in 2019?
At the end, we heard rumors, but no.
In 2020 was the COVID?
Yes.
So that's absolutely true.
Yes.
For you, right?
Yes.
That there was COVID. Why would you say there was COVID?
Because there was people dying. There was also just evidence, scientists working on it. Yeah.
Thank you. So there was evidence.
Yes.
So that's exactly how you challenge your thoughts.
Okay.
How absolutely true is it that, I'm going to fail at this project that I'm doing?
Okay.
Then you say, actually not. Because my boss gave me 2 projects before and I nailed them. So chances are I might do well in this one.
Okay.
So you're kind of challenging that thought. And then you go on to the third part where you ask yourself, how do I react when I believe this thought? And we are saying react because we want to learn to respond.
Yes, we want to learn to respond. Yes.
So when you believe a thought, why should we believe a thought? Why the words believe a thought? Because when you look at a thought, it's just a thought. It's not a fact.
No.
A thought becomes a reality in your life when you choose to believe it.
Yes.
So if you choose to believe that, oh, I'm not good looking, well, you're not going to be good looking because you have decided to believe that. But even if you think, or people have said it, that you're not good looking, but if you choose to believe that, oh, I don't care, I'm good looking because this is who I am.
Yeah.
You know, that's you reframing.
Okay.
You know, but so thoughts become a reality in our lives when we choose to believe them.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. No, I love that. You caught me. You got me in that one. I didn't see that one coming.
And then the last question you just need to ask yourself is, who would I be without this thought?
Right. So is this how many questions you've asked me?
There are 4 questions.
Okay, 4 questions. So can you repeat them again for me?
So the first one is this true?
Okay.
The second one, is it absolutely true?
Okay.
You underline the word absolutely because that's where everything is. Is it 100% true?
Right.
The third one is, you're asking now, how do I react? You're looking at yourself when I believe this thought. The fourth one is, who would I be without this thought? So these questions, they come from a book that was written by somebody called Byron Katie.
Oh, okay.
And yes, and she tells about her experiences with depression, and they are good questions to ask.
They're really good questions
to ask. So they help in terms of self-doubt.
Okay.
Because by the time you get to the fourth question, if you are thinking, I'm not confident enough, you get to ask yourself, who would I be without this thought? Then the answer would be, I would be confident.
Yes.
I'll be actually presenting this PowerPoint to my team.
Yeah.
So that last question is exactly who you should be. So you stand up and you start being that person in the fourth question, rather than focusing on this self-doubt.
Is it an experience with the 4 question? Is it an experience? Is there a timeline in between? Like, let's say I ask myself this question, and sometimes it can take time.
So whenever we need change in our lives, it doesn't take 2 days, because sometimes we've had core beliefs. It can be a core belief that I'm not good enough. It could have come from even primary school. Maybe some people used to push you around, or bullying, or things like that, and then it becomes something that you believe in. You get to high school, you still believe that, I'm not going to sit with this group because I'm not good enough, right? And then you learn about these 4 questions today, and it's not going to be automatic that you ask yourself those questions and tomorrow you're like, I'm good. No, because you have to undo all those years that you've been believing those things. So it may take a while, but the most important is when you know something new and something that can help you, start doing it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how long it will take, but you will start realizing that every day you challenge those thoughts, you feel better about yourself, and you move towards what you want for you. So when it comes to self-doubt, I always say, it's not about you, because people usually say, I need to find myself, because it's so attached to identity, and people will be like, I need to find myself. I don't even know who I am. But there comes a point in your life where you don't need to find yourself, because it might be too hard to find yourself. But you need to get to a point where you redefine. Who do I want to be right now?
Right.
So you're redefining.
Right. So you're not finding yourself.
Where are you going to find yourself?
Tell me more about that. It might be hard,
because sometimes, like this kind of self-doubt can be coming from, maybe you've had a traumatic childhood. Do you want to find yourself in that traumatic childhood? Maybe not, And what we're saying is, who do I want to be now? So, redefining yourself gives you the opportunity to reinvent, to reset, to reboot, and then rise. Because at the end of the day, you want to reset, you want to reboot, you want to rise.
So where does self-doubt hit the hardest? In our personal life, in our professional life, and what are some of the patterns?
Okay. So it does hit at every transitional stage in our life.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, as a kid, probably you might not have much self-doubt, but from working with kids, as a primary school counselor to a high school counselor, one of the things that I've noticed is that it actually starts even, for among kids who are 5 years, 6 years old, because somebody has said something. So self-doubt usually comes from that voice, someone's voice. Sometimes it's not an internal thing. Sometimes it's the voice. You keep hearing your grandmother's voice, your uncle's voice, saying, you can't do it, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough. So it can start from a very, very early age. And then, it becomes even harder as children transition to adolescence. When they become teenagers, life just changes.
Yeah.
There's the hormones issue, there is, the belonging issue, fitting into groups in high school, acceptance, significance, all those things. So it does hit very hard when kids get to being teenagers.
Right.
And then in our career, when we get married, that's a change.
Okay.
Even before we even think of marriage, the moment you finish year 12 and you're going to uni, life changes automatically. Every friend is moving. Some are interstate, some are going abroad, and you are left here in Adelaide, for example.
Yeah.
Then you realize that, oh my God, I am alone, because maybe you've never been alone.
Right.
You've been in school all these years. You've had your friends around you, and now there you are. You're going to study at uni all by yourself. It's that first day when you get to uni and you don't know anybody.
Okay.
You need to learn the social skills to start a conversation. You can actually start. Maybe one of your friends was an extrovert. They would always start that for you. So in your head you are thinking, oh, Sue is not here.
Yeah.
How am I going to sit with that group? So you can have self-doubt. You can start thinking, I can't even do it.
Right.
I can't make friends.
Right. So it's at the transitional period rather than like it's your personal life or professional. It's nothing to do with that.
Usually it's the transitional stages. Yeah. And then maybe, you get to uni, you manage, you find your way. Then comes the job. What do you do at work?
Yeah.
You get to work, you're the junior manager. Everybody's above you. It can also be difficult. Maybe you've been used to getting distinctions, but at this point you have no distinction here. It's about experience.
I know what you mean. Yes, I know what you mean. Not to stop you, I did my placement, so I've always been like sort of a little bit smart, but like in terms of school, I always hated school, uni, everything. So we did placement with this guy who got high distinction at uni. Very well put together, like very intimidating. Right? We got to the school and I just flourished. I created programs about this because they didn't have anything, because the schools are a little bit different here. They don't really have social work like that. Anyway, so I was there, I created this, and I was like, it was like so exciting. This guy didn't know what to do. And it makes me question, as you're talking about it now, whether that is the transition. What you're saying is that, there is no distinction now. Like, what are you going to do?
We need people who do the work, get the experience, learn from others, rather than put yourself in that corner and think, I was so good at what I was doing, now I'm so dumb. That's self-doubt kicking in. Rather than saying, we just so good at this. Maybe I just need to sit with her for 30 minutes and then learn from them. And also sometimes pride kicks in, and then you're not able to learn anything. You go home at night, you're thinking, I'm not good. But it was just the pride that led to the self-doubt.
Right. Yeah, because they end up leaving.
Yeah.
They couldn't be. So I was left alone in placement because they couldn't actually continue it. Even though I tried to have a conversation, nothing was working for them. And you can see they walked in with suit and everything.
Yeah. Yes, so the transition periods are very important in our lives.
Right.
And you finish, you start working, you're good, and then there you get into a relationship, maybe a serious one. You find a partner, you want to live together or get married, whichever way it is. Then you're two different people. Maybe your partner is so good at other things, and again, it depends on our upbringing as well. And then you look at them and you're thinking, wow, I'm just useless. Wow. And then, you may end up sabotaging that relationship because of your thoughts. Right. And then there are other stages as well, like, grief on its own, just going through loss in life. You lose maybe an important member in your family and you just think, I'm done. And then you can't move forward. You start having those negative thoughts. Right. Yeah. So even just illness, probably you were this, I don't know, high functional person, and then all of a sudden you get sick and you can't do the job that you were doing. Then if you can't redefine, remember we talked about redefining, then if you are going to be stuck in who am I now, then you're in trouble.
Wow.
Because maybe you can't be that person anymore. Exactly. So that's when you have to, instead of focusing on the I can never be successful. So it's a lot to do with also what you attach success to, what you attach self-worth and identity to.
Right.
That can bring that, and also what other people say about your identity, about your success.
Okay, that's a very interesting, because a few years ago I broke my ankle, and I broke it 3 ways, so it was not a very good thing at all. I was bedridden for like nearly 6 months. I had a choice, because I didn't realize how much I leaned into my capacity. It was very deep. The moment that happened, I was like, I'll be back at work, I'll be doing this. I remember having panic attack because I couldn't even do the most basic stuff. And I remember that moment I had a choice in my head, whether to be crying and be upset about it, or to actually start finding ways or redefining myself on how I see myself to that. And I remember one didn't feel good. The one that felt like I needed to be said constantly and lean into my capacity made me feel sad. But when I started redefining myself in that sense, in small sense, like my experience became very different.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, because when you change the way you look at things, everything changes. Life is about perception. Yeah. Where other people see a 6, other people see a 9.
That's true. That's true.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's perception. But then, you've got to choose whether that perception is going to hurt you or build you up.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Have you ever seen the what do you call it? I talk about it sometimes in one of my videos. The dress where like you this a mother and a daughter. One of them took photos, and the daughter took photos, sent it to the mom, I think, and then she looked at the photo, but it was completely different color she perceived. Did you ever? No, I have to tell you. You have to. I want to see your reaction on camera. Give me a second. I want to see your reaction, okay?
Okay.
What color do you see?
Wow. Is it like gold and white?
Yes, she's on my team.
Yeah.
No. You're meant to see this color.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So for whatever reason, because of the lighting, you and I can only see gold and white.
Yeah.
My friends, all they see is black and gold. Sorry, black and
blue.
Yeah.
Wow.
I tried it all the kids and my mama, everybody come out with different colors.
Wow.
Yes.
Perception.
Exactly.
Perception. Yeah. And it's just like, when you're raising kids.
Yeah.
Whatever you speak to your kids, that's what they believe. So, I've been to places where I've met kids who didn't have much, but they strongly believe that there would be someone.
Right.
That's perception.
Yeah.
And I've met kids who've got everything. And they strongly believe that, they'll just amount to nothing. And that will be. So it's again, that's where self-doubt has got nothing to do with who you are, where you are, or what you do. It's a lot to do with understanding the thought patterns, understanding where they are coming from, and learning to challenge them. Wow. And it's at every stage in your life that you may have self-doubt. Yes.
Should we anticipate that as every time you're going through transition, should we not anticipate the self-doubt, but anticipate there may be self-doubt and be proactive ready to combat that?
Remember, this is not a disorder. It's a normal human experience that people have. So when you are in that space where you're transitioning to something, when it kicks in, the most important thing is to acknowledge it.
Okay.
You can't push it away.
Yeah.
Acknowledge it that, I'm actually feeling that. I might not be successful at this. And then you go on to ask yourself the 4 questions. They're very simple. They're like primary school questions. Anyone can remember them. And then you go to acknowledge, the emotions that you're having at that time. Because normally we want to suppress the emotions. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling anxious. We want to suppress that so that we feel good. But we can't feel good all the time. So it's learning also to be in that space where you acknowledge the feeling. And then, you get to the point where you go for what you want. Yeah.
I heard somewhere, I don't know who's the actual original quote, that comparison is the thief of joy. Okay, so can you share a little bit about how does that come into play when it comes to self-doubt and all of that?
Okay. So when we look at other people, especially nowadays with social media, yeah, we forget that our private struggles are not what we're seeing on the reels. So we try by all means to match ourselves to what we see on the reels, but those people might be having their private struggles, but they're not just showing it there. Because when you really think about it, for example, how often do you see people posting and saying, oh, I'm having a tough time, my finances are in shambles, come rescue me. It's usually I'm traveling to Bali, with my suitcase and all that. And then if you are in a space where you're not able to travel to Bali, in your mind, the thing that comes in is, that person is better than me. We work together, but they're smarter than me. They're able to save for Bali. They're driving a better car than mine. So what we tend to forget as people is that we travel at different time zones. We might be of the same age, but our time zones are different.
Right.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So if you accept that, this person is currently doing their masters, they're your age mate, they're doing their masters, but maybe at that point you're raising your 2 kids.
Right.
You cannot compare yourself to that person,
right?
Because otherwise you're going to be thinking, oh, they're so smart, look at me. But you're forgetting that you chose maybe to get married and have your kids, and they chose a career path. They want to study, and maybe when they finish they'll have a family. So your time zones are totally different, whether it's your best friend or somebody you work with. So understanding that will help you address the self-doubt thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good point, because say for example, I came to this country when I was quite young as a refugee, right? And my counterparts at that point, they lived here. They don't have generations of, say, surviving war. So if I compare myself with them, it would be quite absurd, wouldn't it be?
It will be crazy, because already you're going to see that they are 2 or 3 steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
It's just like maybe even if you look at yourself, I don't know if you've ever had a friend who got an inheritance from an aunt or a relative.
Yeah.
And then maybe you are coming from a family where they are waiting for you to be the person who will leave an inheritance for someone. Yeah, the first person who's going to leave an inheritance.
Yeah.
So if you're going to compare yourself with that person, because they already own 3 houses that they didn't even really have to work for. Maybe they got their grandfather's superannuation, 1.5 million. So they can afford to do that. And you're at the stage where you've just come, or probably you came with parents, they were struggling, and they're not even owning a house, they're renting a house. They're actually hoping you're going to be the first person to buy a house. So that comparison will not help you. You've got to learn to, be in your own lane.
Yeah. Wow.
When people are swimming, they never take another person's lane if they want to win. They stick to their own lane.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So be like those guys who are good swimmers. They just focus on their lane. Sometimes they don't even lift their head from the water.
Yes.
They're just going, to touch the wall.
Yeah.
So, your wall may not come now.
Yeah.
But you've got to go for it.
Yes.
And just understanding that, we're totally different. People come from different backgrounds. So a lot of people do not progress because they compare. They are stuck in comparison. And it makes you feel like, there's no point.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it brings in those feelings of hopelessness, worthlessness, and then you don't just do anything.
Yeah.
So it's that acceptance that I am at a different time zone with everybody around me.
Wow.
It can help you.
Wow.
Yes, we may all be in Adelaide, but somebody is working on a New York clock. Somebody is working on a Zimbabwean time zone.
Yes.
We are all at different time zones.
Yeah, and to put you on the spot, I don't know if you'll be able to answer this one. How do we do that? Like, how do we stay in our lane or our own clock? Like, is there a way we can reframe our minds to do that?
It is not an easy thing, but you know, one thing that I really like is you know, when people go for the AA meetings,
Okay.
they do the serenity prayer.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say it word for word in case I say the wrong thing, but what it does, it says, God help me to, you know, change the things that I cannot change and to accept what I cannot change, you know.
Right.
And I think it's that's what makes a big difference in our lives.
Okay.
Being able to accept what you cannot change. And one thing that we cannot change in life is becoming another person,
Okay.
because we can never be. So
Okay.
it's accepting that, oh, that's how we, you know, and it's working on changing what I can change.
Right.
Yeah, if in my family nobody went to school, maybe I can start by going to school, get an education, get a job. You know, that's changing. If in my family everybody was an alcoholic, maybe I can change and be the one who starts by stopping that. So it's being able to differentiate that, you know, things that we can change and things that we need to learn to accept. Yeah. So especially when it comes to other people, really we need to learn to accept that other people will be blessed ahead of us.
Right.
And sometimes it hurts clapping your hands for people all the time.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we are human. You know, you wake up this morning, your friend has bought a car, and they call you again. Oh, you know, we finished paying our mortgage, and then you know, and then the next time, oh, you know. We're going, oh, what are you doing over the holidays? Oh, I'm just here. Oh, okay. Oh, no, we're doing the Euro trip. And you're like, oh, yeah. But maybe you've got so much on your plate. Maybe you're the one taking care of your mom.
Yeah.
You're taking care of your siblings. Sometimes it's not because you're forced to, but because there's need.
Yeah.
So understanding those dynamics that we can never really be the same, and learning to accept that this is who I am, but I can do things to make or enhance my life. Because the idea is for you to work on enhancing your life, not on becoming like somebody, you know. Because when I look at it, you know, I don't know, it might sound crazy, but I always think of it like when babies are born, they come up with clutched feet, you know, fists,
they do,
right?
yeah.
I always believe that they're carrying their blessings. So you came up with your own blessings.
Yes.
How can you go and try and grab someone's?
That's true.
They cannot be transferred.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. So maybe looking at it that way will make it easier for us. But is it possible to get jealous? Yes. Is it possible to envy somebody? Yes. But it is, you know, learning to understand that I've got my own path to follow.
Right. Wow, it's okay that you can feel the feeling.
It's
of
good to
jealousy.
acknowledge that I feel jealous because Awit is, you know, doing this. But I need to celebrate my friend Awit because this is a season. Mine is coming. We've got to learn to celebrate other people.
Wow.
That's the only way we can do away with jealous. And I think the more we learn to do that, the easier it becomes when your turn comes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we practice it rather than, jealous feeling. Rather than just sitting in it, but just keep practicing. You know what? I'm feeling this way. How can I celebrate somebody else?
Yes. And also accepting the emotion that you're having. I'm feeling jealous. And acknowledging it.
Okay.
Because sometimes we want to pretend and push it away.
Yes.
Now, I don't feel jealous. I'm good with everybody. But I think because we are human, you're likely to feel that way.
Yeah.
You're likely to feel that way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it can be a lot when somebody keeps progressing and you feel like you're in limbo or you're derailing.
Yes.
So it can be that. But learning to understand that, I've got to be in my own path.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know I can think of a few things sometimes, like, if you're, single or like sometimes like you want to have kids. I've heard somebody says, they have 3 kids already. Like, why are they having a 4th or a 5th? I don't even have one. you know, you hear those things and it's heartbreaking for them, because it's like, I get where you're coming from, but it's like, there's nothing that person has done to you. It's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
And it's not your fault either.
And it's not your fault either.
It's not your fault either. Yeah, and probably, I don't know, like, especially for most or some of us, probably people in my age group, those who were born, like, I'll give the example of Zimbabwe, where I come from. You'll find that we'll have a lot of responsibilities.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, you get your salary, it's not just for you. You might be taking care of your mom, your dad, you know, you might be sending your brother's kids to school, you know, there's so much. So I can't compare myself to somebody probably who comes from a different country and they've got, maybe they don't even need to take care of anybody. So we might be getting, you know, 7,000 Australian dollars per month to get at the same, you know, same rate, same everything.
Yeah.
But our lives are going to be different. Because I will have to be conscious that, oh, you know, maybe out of the 7,000, 3,000 is going to other people that I take care of. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
so you're talking about black tax in that sense. Yeah.
So, and they have nothing to take care of.
Yes.
So they'll still have that 3,000 in their pocket.
They can do
so they can afford to buy a car that I cannot buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So jealous will just kill me.
Again, it's a
it will
normal
just
part of
steal my joy.
Yes.
Because I'll be just thinking, why?
Yeah.
But the question, it shouldn't be why. The question should be, what now? What do I need to do?
Yep.
You know, to enhance my life. What do I need to do? You know, to get out of this.
So you've talked about different tools, you know, the 4 questions. You've talked about different things which has been really, really powerful. Can you tell us a little bit, like, of any other tools that we might be able to use in terms of, you know, self-reflection or maybe journaling and so forth?
Journaling is a good one, and like I mentioned earlier, I actually do journal a lot, and I even have created my own journals, but it can be healthy or unhealthy.
Right.
Yes. So sometimes, yes, in therapy we usually encourage to journal, but it has to be, you know, in a healthy way.
Okay.
Journaling should help to give you insight and awareness into your thoughts and your feelings and bring change.
Right.
And when it becomes unhealthy, it's when you are just journaling and then you're overthinking things, you're spiraling, and it's not bringing any change in your life. It's actually making you feel worse. That's why sometimes you hear people say, I hate journaling. I'll never do journaling, it didn't help me. Okay, so when you do journaling, you have to be intentional about it. And it's not about just journaling your thoughts. Sometimes our focus is on the negative aspect of, especially if it's self-doubt. Sometimes when a client comes to me and they are struggling with self-doubt, I don't ask them to journal their thoughts every day or their feelings every day. I actually ask them to keep a success journal. Where you journal your wins for the day. And that way, you know, it helps you actually realize that, you know,
it's something positive.
I actually managed to do that project. I actually managed to use the photocopy at work. Those small wins. So that's another good tool to use, but we've got to be very careful on how we're using it. So
basically it's in how we journal. We have to know how to journal properly. And
it's just not focusing on the negative things. That's why some people hate it so much. Because they've just have learned or have been told that it's about, you know, your feelings, your thoughts, sometimes it's just, you know, to journal about the good things about your day. So and similarly with affirmations, you know, when somebody's feeling I'm not good enough, I don't tell my clients to go and start saying I'm good enough. Sometimes it may lose meaning. Maybe sometimes I ask them to go and use the word choose. Create an affirmation. I choose to feel good about myself.
That reframes
it. And you're saying choose. You're saying I'm making a choice to feel good about myself.
It's in the language.
It's in the language, because life is about choices. Instead of just telling them, you know, I'm pretty when you don't feel pretty, or you don't see yourself as pretty. So you'd rather say, I choose to look good.
Okay.
It's a choice that you can make.
Yeah.
I know you like makeup. Today you didn't put any, because I don't put makeup. But
doctors too.
And it's a choice.
Yes,
that's
it's
an
a choice.
example.
Yes,
You
it
put
is.
makeup. My sister puts red lipstick almost every day because she loves it. And she looks adorable in it, you know. When I look at her, I'm like, oh, Chido, you look amazing.
Yeah.
But I cannot do that. Why? Because it's a choice. I feel good enough not having makeup.
Okay.
But will I put makeup? Yeah, maybe when I'm coming for somebody's wedding and I just feel like, oh, I need to have some lipstick or whatever. It's a choice.
Right.
Yeah. So learning to, doing affirmations, they should be meaningful.
Okay.
Yes, they should be meaningful.
Right.
Even as a Christian, there's so much in the Bible that we can use, and I know I've got, I've got Muslim friends. Those things are their affirmations, So, but I feel like maybe as a new Christian, imagine if you tell me as a new Christian that you're chosen, you're a child of God, when I've never felt that way. So that's why I'm saying affirmations have to have meaning.
Right.
For you, to the person.
Right.
Yeah. So that's another very good tool. So journaling affirmations, they're very good tools if they're used well.
Right. And meaningfully. I think that
Meaningfully.
Yeah.
Because if you say it in the way that doesn't bring meaning to me, then you lose the whole purpose.
Yeah.
And then doing very simple mindfulness acts. Just simple things like washing dishes. As much as we've got dishwashers.
I don't know if he wants to. Yeah.
Just being intentional and just washing your dishes and just enjoying those things so that you're not in your head. Can you imagine you're looking at your cup and you're thinking, this cup gives me good coffee, and then just washing it and
really
enjoying it.
I love that.
It doesn't have to be big things sometimes. Like most of the times you think, when I go for therapy, I have to come up with big techniques.
Okay.
Sometimes it's the little things in life that can transform your life.
Yeah.
So just doing those mindful acts like washing dishes.
Yeah.
Taking
But
a
what if
walk.
other people don't like washing dishes? Because I've mentioned it.
Sometimes we have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable things.
Right.
And that's one thing that also leads to a lot of self-doubt because we are uncomfortable with discomfort. So, we've got to be uncomfortable sometimes. You've got to wash those dishes.
Yep.
And just maybe when you're washing them, you're actually counting them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 10 plates.
Right.
And that time you're not spiraling in your head.
Yeah, so it's moving from here.
Yes.
All right, to physical. Like your mind is resting at that time.
Take a walk. It's not about affording a gym payment. It's just doing the little things. Take a walk.
Seeing the green colors and all these beautiful colors as we were saying in the beginning.
Do some coloring. Even if you are 50 years old, you can enjoy mindful coloring just to take your mind out of there.
Would that be self-compassion? Does self-compassion
self-care?
come in?
That's self-care. It comes under self-care.
Okay.
Self-compassion is being kind to yourself.
Okay.
We usually focus on being kind to other people, but the most important thing is to be kind to yourself. How can I be kind to myself today?
Okay.
I can actually start by reframing my thoughts.
Okay.
Appreciating who I am. Loving myself. Self-love is very key. Those are some of the topics that probably we cannot talk about today because it's a topic on, being self-aware.
Yeah.
There's some people who struggle with just being self-aware. So starting with those self-forgiveness, because some people get stuck in self-doubt because they haven't forgiven themselves.
Right.
And the thing about self-forgiveness is not waking up and to say, I forgive myself for doing this. It's forgiving yourself for doing or saying or acting in any way without knowing that it was wrong.
It's like a self-betrayal or something.
Yeah, so it's now that you start forgiving yourself because you now know.
Right.
You cannot forgive yourself when you don't know, when you have not learned about it. You've got to learn about it. That actually, using that tone of voice was wrong. But when you did it, you didn't know it was wrong. But when you have learned about it, so you don't have to go home thinking, I'm such a useless employee because my boss said my tone of voice was not good. That's you're getting into self-doubt. I'm a useless employee. But you can actually say, I forgive myself for having not learned that, tone is a big thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've learned from it.
Point.
Yeah. So that's another thing that you can do. And one other important thing that we need to have is, having a good friend. I'm not saying good friends, because the moment you get your 20s, it's very difficult to have 5 friends, 10 friends. But having a good friend that you can talk to, that you can genuinely be vulnerable to.
Right. Does community come into that play?
Community comes into that play. Why? Because, we as human beings, we regulate our emotions well in a safe environment around people that we feel safe with.
Right.
So that's where community comes in. And community also can heighten our self-doubt.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if the pressure is on that you've got to do engineering for you to have self-worth, for you to have acceptance, then the moment you fail to do engineering, you've become a failure.
Right. I see what you're saying. So, but finding the right community?
Finding the right community.
So if I'm in a place or I'm a certain friendship, and I'm not always regulated, I'm alerted, it means that I'm not in the right.
Oh yeah, when you're in a friendship where you've got to think about what to say, how to constantly dress up, then it's a very uncomfortable place to be. You've got to be in a friendship where you just wake up one morning and you still want to see your friend, and you don't feel like changing your pajamas. You can be comfortable to go and knock at their door and say, I've come to see you.
Yeah.
And they'll not judge you.
Yes.
And you will not feel judged.
Yes.
But if you're going to be thinking about, I have to go online and get a dress because, Sue has asked us to meet for lunch, then there might be something that you need to revisit there, especially if it gives you anxiety. Friendship that constantly gives you anxiety and friendship that makes you doubt yourself, then that's quite unhealthy.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's been really lovely having you, and I know you said before that you are not ready to do any counseling session. You did it for me. I'm here. I don't know about other people, but I'm sure they would love it, and I felt like it was so amazing having you. So I want to give you the opportunity. Is there any last thought that you have that you're like, you know what, I gotta share this?
Okay. So probably what I can just encourage everybody is to remember that, self-doubt is not a disorder. It's something that we all experience, and it actually helps us understand, the risks that we're about to take in our lives, the challenges that are there, and the awareness, the social awareness. Yes. So it is not a bad thing. We just need to learn to respond rather than react. Yeah.
Beautiful. No, thanks for sharing. And where can we find you? Like, you're a doctor, you have some services, like maybe I want to book a session with you. I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn. I might not yet be very good at social media. Now but you can also go on my website. It's Dr. Suma Haji. Dr. Suma Haji. We'll put that on the screen, and then we can follow you from there on. Yes. What about, you mentioned earlier on about books and journals? Yeah. Okay, so currently I have journals, women's journals. Okay. Yeah, that you can get on Amazon. Okay. And they're good in the sense that some of them are reflection journals that have got some helpful questions that can just guide you into becoming the person that you want to be. And then, and soon there will be my book on parenting. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm excited because there is a new theory on parenting that I've just come up with. So it will be good for you to learn about it. Okay, whether you're a mom, a dad, a grandparent, a sister, an aunt, that book could be helpful. Yeah. We're definitely going to grab some. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Yes. Thank you. Well, I'll definitely be seeing you in the next one.